Hi, it's your astrologer from belladeveraofficial.wordpress.com, and I'm doing another astrology birth chart reading for hairstyles. So that's my notes. I'm doing a birth chart reading for you about your 7th and 8th houses. So your 7th house is in Aries and your 8th house is in Taurus. And your 7th house, I should have said it. It's in Aries at 28 degrees, which is associated with Cancer. The degrees associated with the zodiac, Aries through Pisces 1 through 12, and then it, starts from Aries again, and so on throughout the 30 degrees. Because first of all, Aries is the first house. So then if you go around, so anyway, your 8th house is in Taurus at 25 degrees, which is associated with Aries. So the 7th house is give and take relating to each other. It's Libra, the scales. It's Libra wants everything to be balanced out the way it should be, and not Libra does do this naturally, go from one spectrum to the other of things, but it can get itself balanced out, That's what Libra naturally does. And it likes to stay that way. But if it gets too much one way, then it goes the other way, and then it can go, like that until it figures out what the middle ground is, to get balanced out, That's what Libra does, the scales, it's justice and peace and harmony. And, Libra, the 7th house is marriage and business partners. But or if you're not in a marriage, it's your significant other, like if you live with someone, or long-term partner, romantic partner, business partner also. And it can be like a best friend kind of person, or when you're dating people, you end up around Aries. That's because one indication is because of the 7th house being in Aries. And also that can be the degrees, like I said, which is Cancer. And the 8th house is the sexual partner. It can be, the 8th house is also like two people relating to each other about 8th house things. So as Taurus and Aries for you. So it's the same kind of idea, you end up around people with Taurus in their birth chart, maybe somewhere, or like ascendant, sun, or moon, or other personal planets, or the north node or south node, or it can be lots of placements. And Aries also, because 25 degrees is associated with Aries. So first of all, like I was saying, the 7th house is Libra. The 7th house is give and take. It's equal. The 12th house is unconditional love, which in reality is the proper kind of love. But the 7th house is give and take, conditional love. It's the you do this, I do this kind of, back and forth, like, negotiating kind of love. But besides that in itself, it's the marriage partner, that kind of a person. Like I said, business and whatever. So Libra, like I was saying, is all about harmony and peace and wanting things to be balanced out the way it should be, Libra goes to great lengths to have everything peaceful, and Libra can Libra is most known for avoiding conflict at any cost, even if they have opinions sometimes. If they feel uneasy in a situation, they're not gonna necessarily want to share their thoughts. They're gonna go, first of all, be naturally Libra-ish, go to great lengths to avoid conflict. They're very good at, being a mediator too, also, which is, a nice, healthy thing to do. But like I was saying, you can go to great lengths if just Libra in itself. I'm just explaining what the seventh house is, first of all. So you go to great lengths to avoid conflict. And like I was saying, if you feel like there's any conflict going on, or if you're not sure of the feelings of you and the other person or the group of people or whatever, you kind of, you don't want conflict, so you do anything to get it balanced out, and make it so there's no conflict. Um, Libras don't necessarily lie on purpose just to be a jerk or anything, but they can like tell a kind of a little lie maybe, or just a lie out of wanting to be friends with the other person. If they feel like they're gonna say something that would create a conflict, they might, stretch the truth somehow to avoid the conflict. If the other person asks for the Libra's opinion and they don't feel comfortable giving it, or if they feel like it's going to create a conflict, then they'll maybe stretch the truth or whatever. That kind of thing, that's what the seventh house is all about. Libras do that. It's not that I'm saying Libras lie on purpose. To be honest with you, if you want to know what the liar of the zodiac is, it's Leo, the fifth house. That's the actor, the celebrity of the zodiac. That's you know, the liar of the zodiac. So I'm not saying Libra is, because Libra is not the liar of the zodiac at all. It's just if they get in a tight spot where they don't want conflict, they might go to different lengths, like that kind of a thing, lying or whatever, just to avoid conflict. It's not to be mean. It's because they want to get along with you. So Aries, being in seventh house, is opposite of Libra. They're not all zodiac signs have an opposite zodiac sign, and Libra and Aries are opposite. Venus rules the seventh house, and Mars rules Aries. So you can have Aries about house things, and you can be around people. You also can have just friends, be around Aries people just because it's the seventh house. It's not necessarily that you're gonna marry an Aries or anything, but like I said, but it can be more than the marriage partners, because it just happens that way. You can end up being around a lot of people with Aries in the birth chart. So you can be, but it also is business and marriage partners, or long-term, romantic partners. Um, any kind of give and take transaction, kind of relating to people, business, or, or whatever, career, anything like that, you're going to be around a fair amount of Aries, probably, are people with Aries qualities. And it's not, like I said, not gonna be just a sun sign that is Aries. If you think you're around an Aries and their sun sign's not Aries, it's probably in their astrology birth chart somewhere, which is why astrologers always tell you to, look at the whole astrology birth chart. I'm constantly saying that in all my videos because it's so important to know the whole birth chart and not just the sun sign, because that's not going to tell you the whole personality. So you're going to be attracted to people that do seventh house things in an Aries way. And also you do seventh house things in an Aries way. And Cancer, like I said, because 28 degrees is associated with Cancer. So Cancer is ruled by the moon, which is the emotions, which is the mother of the zodiac. Um, the moon in Cancer is associated with the fourth house, which is your home, and where you feel the most like you can be the most vulnerable. Cancer is like the mother of everyone. Like if there's a Cancer in a group and no one else has much of the Cancer, let's say, for instance, just to give you an example, Cancer is going to be like a Cancer person, whether it's the sun or something else in the birth chart. It's going to be like the mother of the group of people, like friends or business, or like I said, if there's like a child in family, just for an example to tell you what I'm talking about, and no one else has Cancer in the birth chart, like that. If you are in a family, which I don't know all of your family members, and if they have Cancer anywhere, but you will be like the mother of your family, like always taking care of. So that's why you have a very one part of your personality is very motherly, and it's the sun in your fourth house also, like I did in the other astrology birth chart readings for you. But this is one other reason you have these qualities too of Cancer. It's what you need to feel nurtured, as the taking care of people placement or zodiac sign is, let's stay home and, sit by the cozy fire, or, make a nice meal, and Cancer, all zodiac signs have appearances, clothes, colors, whatever, the way they, are as a person, what they look like, and Cancer is the crab. So that's the shell. Um, And so they're a homebody. They like that shell to protect them whenever they're in a situation where they're feeling uneasy. The Cancer, somehow their personality has this thing about them where they want to be in their, Cancer shell till they get to know someone or whatever, But different zodiac signs can dress a little bit similar sometimes, but one thing about Cancer that could be maybe about us, you might want to wear a scarf, for an example. It makes them feel comfy and cozy, or safe, or a hood, or like something that they feel wrapped up in. Um, so that's another thing about Cancer. So you can be that way, or attracted to someone, or have a business partner that is like that, or whatever, that has that quality about them. um Cancer is naturally in a square to the seventh house, um which is tension, the most tension aspect that there is, and Aries. So there's a little bit of within yourself. just naturally about the 7th house, which we all have. So it's not like a big aspect, but it is part of what happens with this. Cancer naturally is in a square, to Libra, like, let's say Cancer's up here and Libra's here. That's a square, 90 degrees. So it's friction, There's some amount of not getting each other here. So there is a little bit of a squares aren't so different that they can't have anything in common, but there is a lot of tension there. So within yourself, somehow your 7th house is going to feel, in Cancer, it's going to feel a little bit unnatural. It's not going to be the worst situation that can be in your birth chart, what aspect wise, like an opposition or not opposition, in conjunction, because that's when you have anything in common at all. But a square is going to be some amount of tension. So the 28 degrees that's just the degrees, but you can look at it like that also. So it's not going to be maybe as powerful as if it's the zodiac sign like Aries, but there can be some amount of that. So you're gonna maybe be attracted to Cancers somewhat, but you have to look at the whole birth chart, and with the amount of Aquarius you have in your birth chart, it's not going to be the most likely thing, because Aquarius and Cancer is naturally in conjunct, and you have 4 out of 5 personal planets in Aquarius. And the degrees matter, so it's not all in conjunct, but just the zodiac sign is. So there's a bunch of stuff you have to look at, already if you're doing this kind of reading for someone, which I'm not even like halfway through yet. So there's a bunch of details you have to look at. So there's going to be some amount of you being attracted to people or being like Cancer because of the 7th house being in 28 degrees, but it's not going to be the most powerful situation happening. But Cancer is also, they are the most emotional zodiac sign. They're ruled by the moon. The moon is your emotions, and it's always up and down and unstable, and it's never like Libra. Libra can, get themselves balanced out the way they should be, not, they're going to do some amount of this, but they're going to always be able to get, like this, steady, stable, whatever. The Cancer, the moon is not like that. It's always up and down and changing, and it's the whole zodiac like the moon is. Cancer in itself is not the whole zodiac, but the moon has a quality. The moon in itself, the planet astrology, in astrology, it's a planet. It's going to be, because the moon in itself is the planet that goes through the whole zodiac in the shortest amount of time. So that's why it's always fluctuating up and down and, emotional. So you're going to be attracted to someone that is like that somewhat because of the degrees. But someone that is motherly and caring and nurturing. And Cancer is known to overthink things and be over emotional. They're known for being, like I said, homebodies, which is all about, the comforts of the home, like, you know, cozy, whatever at home, like food. Not that it's Venus, because that is the 7th house, but Cancer has the quality of being, like that, like a homebody, like wanting everything to be cozy, nice, and you know, homey feeling or whatever. But like I was saying, I got off on a little whatever there. Oh, I was in the middle of a thought telling you about the square. Um, Cancer being ruled by the moon is emotions, and with that being all up and down, and it being in a square aspect to the seventh house, it's not going to be the most comfortable situation. It being in Cancer, or well, 28 degrees. Um, because Libra likes everything to be calm and balanced out, not always up and down. Um, but anyway, so, and if you study astrology and then study it more and study even more after that, there's always going to be, something to learn about each zodiac sign. And unless you have it in your astrology birth chart, it's a little bit more difficult to tell you all about it. But that's the basics of it. I have Pisces in my birth chart, which is the whole zodiac, but I don't have Cancer in my birth chart. So I can study about Cancer, but I can't tell you personally what you're like to the fullest extent that maybe you could if you study astrology and you know all the different zodiac signs and stuff. But that's the basics of it. Um, and Cancer is also known for being like they like being they're good at like uh, finding a reason to stay with someone. Like seventh house is directly or related to relationships, so this is good to talk about. Cancer is known for giving the other person the benefit of the doubt and you know sticking with the relationship and seeing if they can work things out. You're like that yourself or attracted to someone like that. Um, and uh, Cancer and Aries is naturally a square. So the 28 degrees is in a little bit of a square aspect to your seventh house being in Aries. So there's this tension here with the seventh house that you feel within your own self. Um, and Aries being ruled by Mars, Mars is the planet of aggression. If you want to know, which zodiac sign is gonna, fly off the handle just like that, it's Aries because Mars rules Aries. Mars is the planet of getting mad. Pluto is also in a little bit of a different way than Mars. Pluto is what's hidden and buried and all that stuff, what comes up. It's the eighth house. But Mars is not hidden. Mars is the first house. It's on the surface. It's the ascendant, which is, the appearance is the public persona. So it's right, in front, for everyone to see. And Mars and um the zodiac sign Aries, your seventh house being in Aries makes you attracted to or also yourself a very aggressive person about seventh house matters. Um Aries is all about me. And you have to look at the whole birth chart, like I said, because there can be aspects from other planets and such things that can mellow this out a little bit. Because it's not going to just be this one part of your personality, obviously, that you're like. So you have to look at all bunch of different things in, your birth chart to see exactly what you're like. And it'll be, a mix of things, obviously. but especially about seventh house matters, when it's directly related to business or, whatever other things, like I said, you're going to react about the seventh house things in an Aries way, in a Mars way. So it's going to be confident, bossy, me first. Let's get it done now. Like yesterday actually is what Aries is like. Like, I don't want to wait for you to help me out. I'm going to do it on my own. And, if you want to, fool around, or if you don't, that's great. You do whatever you want to do. But I'm going to be in Aries about seventh house matters, like business especially. And, I'll get it done by myself. Now, Libra is the opposite. Libra is all about, let's do this together. Let's, do everything together, and let's even hold hands while we're doing this and ask each other what we think. And, are you okay with doing this way? And, all that, sappy, loving stuff. But Aries is the exact opposite. So Aries is like, I don't care about all that stuff. I want to do it my way now. And whether you're going to help me or not, that's cool, whatever. It doesn't matter either way to me. I'll just do it, get it done yesterday, like my way. And I don't really care what you think. And um Aries is like, especially in business partners, or your marriage, or whatever kind of relationship, you happen to have, about seventh house matters. Aries is like, and what I was just saying, they're going to be like also, even like, Aries isn't a fire sign. And with the exception of Sagittarius, most of the time, probably because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, especially Aries and Leo are very emotional. Fire and water are very emotional. So this is a little bit of an emotional placement for you. Aries and Cancer, the 28 degrees, that's associated with Cancer. So it's a little bit of an emotional placement to have, or you're attracted to people or work with people that have this Aries quality of being emotional. And Aries is just naturally the youngest zodiac sign, the baby of the zodiac sign. So this is how you can be. Whenever, if something's not going your way, Aries is like really emotional about it and wants me first in the situation to say how I want it to go. And if it's not going my way, you know, might get emotional about it and be like, throw a fit about it. But just like that, whenever Aries throws a fit, they can get over it and be friendly again and not hold grudges. But Aries is the leader of the zodiac. They're very, very confident and independent and don't need other people to help them out with anything. But there's one part of Aries that is like a one kind of like a negative quality, is that they're good at starting things, but they are very impatient and don't always want to finish things. So that can be something about you, or too. Um, but like I was saying, Aries being ruled by Mars is very aggressive. It's like, besides the modality and other things you have to look at about the other zodiac signs, like the most aggressive, because Mars rules Aries naturally. Um, Mars can also co-rule Scorpio, but Pluto rules Scorpio, grudge or anything. Um, I'm not sure if this is recording still, but um, I've only talked about the 7th house, so I'll do the 8th house next in another video. So if this is still recording, I hope, just to let you know, that's basically what Aries is like. I could go on a little bit and give you examples of stuff, but that's basically what Aries is like. So in case this is recorded, I'll just have to do another video of the 8th house, because once that message comes on, I'm not sure if it's recording still, but it hadn't before, so I know it recorded everything up until then. If this is still recording, leave comments and questions, and thanks for watching.